Good morning, students. In today's class of Managing Change in Organization, we'll start with a new topic, that is how to effectively implement organizational change. In the previous two classes, we have been discussing about the process of organizational change. So, in both the classes, in previous two classes, we have understood how the complete process of organizational change takes place. So, let us just uh, recollect what we have understood by the process of organizational change. So this is the entire process of organizational change that we have discussed. First, in order to bring about change in an organization, first the organization needs to be aware, become aware of the pressures for change. What are the external or internal pressures for change? Once the company is aware of these pressures of change, then only they can realize whether the change is required or not. So first stage is becoming aware of the pressure for change. Then comes recognizing the need for change. After recognizing the pressures, becoming aware of the pressures for change, it is important for the organization to recognize the need for change. So the organization will try to understand why the change is required for them and why they should initiate a change program in their organization. Then comes the third step, that is diagnosing the problem. The organization has to diagnose what are the problems they are facing and how these problems can be eradicated or removed, and what change intervention should be initiated to see that the problem that is being diagnosed can be removed from the organization. So after diagnosing of the problem that is existing in the organization, then we have to move on to the fourth step, that is we have to start planning about the change initiative. Here we have to decide what will be the various strategies we are going to follow, the way we are going to implement change, the way we are going to face resistance, and how we can overcome the resistance, who will be the people who will be the torch bearers of this change, flag bearers of this change, who will be the change agent, the blueprint will be prepared for uh, implementing the change in the organization. So this is all this work is done in the planning the change stage. Then come selecting the right intervention to foster change. We have to decide what particular intervention should be implemented out of all the alternatives available to the organization to see that that intervention will foster or help to bring about change in the organization. Then we have to generate an action plan where we delegate power to various people. We will decide who will the people they will be leading this change, whether the change is department wide or organization wide. Then we have to create a plan how a communication strategy has to be made. Then what are the various ways the resistance has to be removed, that has strategy has to be made. So an actual action plan has to be made in order to see that the change initiatives can actually be implemented in the organization. What are the ways in which it can be implemented, the change initiative, that is put in writing in the generating an action plan. Then comes enhancing the skills in dealing with the change. Whenever a change initiative is started in an organization, there will be certain requirements for training, and this training needs has to be understood, and the employee should be uh, properly trained in order to gain the skills required for embracing the change. Because if they feel that they are not trained enough to embrace the change, or they are not able to work in the changed working environment, they will not accept the change and they will resist the change. So this is very important. Then comes implementing the change. This is the place or the stage where the change is actually implemented throughout the organization. We have to see that all the bottlenecks that are resisting the change in the organization should be removed. A proper communication strategy that has been decided, a systematic structured communication strategy that has been made, that must be implemented. Everybody must be made understood why the change is required in the organization. So various people who will be leading the change, they must be given powers to see that the change is properly implemented throughout the organization. So this is the implementation phase of the change process. Then comes finally the last stage, that is following up on the change. Here, after implementing the change, the change agent and the change support team, they should understand how far they are able to achieve the goals they had predetermined, to see what is the results, to see whether they have accomplished the plans or because they have accomplished the goals they have set in the beginning. So not only we have to see that the change is implemented, we have to see that the implementation of change is bringing about the uh, results that we are anticipating, that we were anticipating. So we have to see, follow up upon the change. We have to see if there is any other problems in implementation of change. If we are not able to achieve the desired results, then some tweaking, some modification that is required, or some rectification is required. Those things has to be done in order to see that the change actually happens and stays in the organization, and the employees do not move back or resort back to their old way of working. So following up the change is one of the very important stages where the change is completely reinforced in the organization. So this is the steps of the organizational change process. So after understanding what is the complete organizational change process, let us now understand how we can take certain steps or certain process can be followed to ensure that this organizational change is properly implemented in the organization. So this will be the topic that we'll be discussing for today's class, that is process of effectively implementing organizational change. Every now and then business organizations change the way they operate and the service products they offer. Any business that operates in the industry, in the environment has to change. They have to change their services, their products, because business organization, they need to change in order to survive. There are new initiatives in organization that the old ineffective practices are forced to live. So whatever are the old ineffective practices or procedures that are being followed by the organization, these things need to be changed, and in its place new initiatives, new procedures, new effective and efficient procedures has to be brought into practice to see that the organization moves from the present state to the future desired state. In addition to that, technology is constantly changing, and the business organization needs to par with that as well. So the organization has to face the challenges faced by the technology, and also the competition. If the competition by uses the new technology and we are lacking behind, then it will be the death of the organization. So with the changing environment, with the changing technology, which is constantly changing, the business organization has to be at par with these changes. So they will be able to face the competition much more effectively and be successful in their business endeavor. Now, given below are some of the key steps to effective organization, to manage the effective organizational change management. In order to see that the organizational change management happens in a more effective and efficient manner, the following steps should be followed. We will start one by one. There are 6 steps. We'll follow understanding the each step one by one. So the first step that is there is define the change and adjust it to the business goals. So we have to define the change that we are anticipating in the organization, that we want to bring about in the organization, and that has to be adjusted with the business goals of the organization to see that the change actually is in line with the business, is in alignment with the business goals. It might appear obvious that many organizations miss this step. Given the rate at which the change initiatives fail, it is very obvious that many organizations, they fail to adjust then define the change and adjust it to the business goals. Since there is no alignment between the change and the business goals, the anticipated change and the business goals, majority of the organizational change processes fail. So it is very important to see that the change that we are going to bring about in the organization and the business goals of the organization, they should be in alignment. It's one thing to articulate the change required, and entirely another thing to conduct a critical review against organizational objectives and performance goals to ensure the change will carry your business in the right direction strategically, financially, and ethically. So it is very important. It is very easy to articulate the change, to prepare a blueprint in which we anticipate the change to be implemented in the organization. It is very easy to make an action plan, to put it in paper, but actually to put it in practice, actually to see, actually to implement or to conduct a critical review of the organizational the change process against the organizational objectives and performance goals is very, very important. Because when we are implementing the change, we have to critically examine and review whether the change has brought about the results that we are anticipating. And this we can review only by assessing the change results with the organizational objectives and the performance goals that we have set. This will ensure that the change will bring about or carry your business in the right direction. Will put you the business in the right path. It may be both strategic, it may be by strategically, financially, or ethically. So the new change initiative will give your organization a new direction that is very strategically matching with your business goals, that is financially viable for you, and which is ethically also correct. So whenever we are defining the change, whenever we are implementing the change, we have to see that the change has to be adjusted to the business goals, the organizational objectives and performance goals. It should be alignment with that, because every organization has certain objectives that they want to accomplish and certain performance goals they want to achieve. So the change initiative should actually bring about or help the organization to realize these organizational objectives and performance goals. So this is very important. Since most change occurs to improve a process, a product, or an outcome, it is critical to identify the focus and to clarify the goals. So when we say every change when we are trying to implement in the organization, that the change involves improving a particular process which is old or ineffective. We are bringing about a new process or a product or a service which is redundant now or is not much effective. We want to bring a new product or service in that place, or an outcome or certain results that we are expecting from the change initiative. So if since a change is concerned with the process or a product or an outcome that we want to improve, it is very important to identify and to focus and clarify the goals. The goals, the business goals that we are setting, that should be properly in focus, and goals should be properly clarified. Then only we will be able to adjust the business goals with the then they can adjust the change, define the change, and adjust with the business goals. So whatever the goals that the change initiative wants to accomplish, these goals should be properly identified, should be focused, and these goals should be properly clarified, and these goals should adjust with the overall business goals of the organization. Then this step can assist you to determine the value of the change, which will quantify the effort and inputs you should invest. Why this adjustment of the change program or the change initiative with the business goals is required? Because this will assist the organization to determine the value of the change, how far that change is valuable, why this change is important for the organization. It is very easy to understand the value of the change, and this will also quantify the effort and inputs that we are going to invest, or how much effort or how much input we are going to invest in order to achieve that change in the organization. So it is very important for that perspective. Then this also involves identifying the resources and individuals that will facilitate the process and lead the endeavor. Obviously, when we understand the change that we want in the organization, and we understand the goals that we want to achieve the goals we achieve or accomplish by initiating or implementing the change in the organization, it will help us to identify what are the various resources that are needed for implementing the change in the organization, and also understand who will be the key individuals who will completely lead this change process. And this will also facilitate the process and lead the endeavor. So it will help the organization to identify the resources and the individual, so that they will be able to implement the change much more efficiently and effectively. So that is the reason we need to define the change and clarify the goals that we are going to accomplish by implementing this change in the organization. Most change systems acknowledge that knowing what to improve creates a solid foundation for a clarity, ease, and successful implementation. So it is no need to say, no need to emphasize more, because any change system which we wants to um, create a solid foundation, that should be clarity, ease, and successful implementation. So for all change systems, acknowledge that knowing all change system, they acknowledge that knowing what to improve, that what is the need for improvement or the need for the change or the goals of the change, creates a solid foundation for the, that gives us a proper idea, clear clarity, clear idea about how we can see that there is successful implementation of this change process. So this is the first step. Now coming to the second step, that is very important, that is determine impacts and those affected. So we have to define or determine what will be the impact that the change program is going to put on the organization, on the various individuals, and those who will be impacted, all the departments and the people, those will be impacted by this change initiative. Once you know exactly what you wish to achieve and why, you should then determine the impacts of the change at various organizational levels. So once we understand what we want to achieve and why we want to achieve, so what change is required and why that change is required, we should understand the impact it will put at all organization levels, at all individuals, at all departments throughout the organization. So we will be able to prepare those organization individuals to embrace the change. So this is very important. Review the result on every business unit and the way it cascades through the organizational structure to the individual. So while implementing the change, we have to see how it will result on, result will be there on each and every business unit of the organization, and how this cascades through the complete organization structure, from through all the departments, heads, and other individuals, finally to the individual, how it impacts. So when we understand the results, how it impacts the individual, the organize, the department, the complete organization structure, we'll be able to understand the change better and implement the change better. This information will start to form the blueprint for where training and support is needed the most to go with the impacts. So why this understanding the implementation of change and how it cascades through the complete organization structure and all to the finally to the individual is important, because this will give us a blueprint or an idea or a flow chart of where the training and support is needed, because who will be the impacted the most, affected the most when we implement the change in the organization, and how much training and support is needed by those uh, people or those individuals or those organizations, those will be impacted the most. So this is also gives an idea about the training and support needed. Since employees are typically closest to the process, it is important that they understand why behind a change and participate in creating a new process. So employees change is generally focused on employees. So whenever a change initiative occurs in an organization, the employees are the closest to the process. It is important for them to understand why the change is required, and so that they will help them in participating in the process of organizational change. Now coming to the third step, that is developing a communication strategy. A communication strategy should be in place so that the people do not resist, they embrace the change very easily. Although all workers ought to be taken on the change journey, the initial step should highlight those employees to whom the change has to be communicated. Even though all workers, all individuals, all departments, all verticals of the organization has to take part in the change process and the change journey, the initial steps is to first we have to understand the employees are the people who will be impacted most, and then we have to communicate why the change is required and how the change is going to be implemented in the organization. Because this communication strategy ensures that they have they will be able to clear all their doubts and they will be able to accept the change. Determine the most effective means of communication for the group or individual that will bring them on board. So we have to decide the means and ways in which we have to communicate with the people, whether at a group level or at an individual level, that will help the group or the individual to come on board with the change initiative. So they will be accepting change, or they will become a part of the change process, and they will be encouraging the change process in the organization. So to bring them on board, we have to decide what are the various effective means of communicating with those groups or individuals. That is very important to determine. The communication strategy should include a timeline for how the change will be communicated, key messages, and the communication channels and mediums you plan to use. So it is very important while preparing or designing or shaping a communication strategy. First, we have to understand how this change will be communicated, how the whole change initiative, the way, the process, and why it is required. This has to be communicated. So, how the change will be communicated? What are the key messages? What will be the key sayings that we want to pass? The knowledge that we want to pass to these individuals or groups, and the communication channels and mediums that we are uh, deciding to pass this communication strategy, communication to this in group or individual. The communication channels and the mediums has also be decided, because both formal and informal channels and mediums can be used. So we have to decide whatever communication channels and mediums that we are going to use to communicate with these individuals or the individuals at a group level, so that they will be understanding why the change is required, why the organization is moving ahead with change, and how it will impact them, and how they should prepare for this change to embrace the change completely. So while preparing this communication strategy, communication should be structured and systematic. So this communication that we are going to make to these individuals or people at a group level, then this communication should be structured and in a systematic way, in an easy way, easy to comprehend way. When there is poor communication and a rumor will start spreading rumors about the change, it can create a resistance to change. So what happens when there is not a proper communication strategy in place? When there is poor communication or the communication strategy is not very effective, a rumor mill starts in the organization, spreading rumors in the organization. So some people will hear and something, they will understand something, and they will start speaking, spreading rumors in the organization. So this will create resistance in the organization. People will be much more resistant. They will become aggressive. It will lead to absenteeism, turnover, or aggression in the organization. So we have to understand that there should be proper communication with these individuals and people at group level, so that all doubts regarding this change process is completely resolved. Being proactive in communications can minimize resistance and make employees feel like they are part of the process. Obviously, when communication is proactive, when the communication is proper, when the communication strategy is in properly designed as in and is in proper place, then it is obviously helpful to make the people understand and bring them on board. When they are on board with the change process, then there will be minimum resistance, and the employees will feel that they are part of the process. So they will not feel alienated, and they will be thinking that they are also included in the change process. So they will be in a place to imbibe the change properly, embrace the change properly. So this is the third step that we are going to understand. The fourth step is to provide effective training. Whenever the change process is going to happen in the organization, there is certain key training that is required, so that the people will be able to embrace the change. So when the change message is out in the open, when we have communicated about the change message, it is important that your people know they will receive training, whether structured or informal, to teach skills and knowledge required to operate efficiently as the change is rolled out. So whenever this communication message or this change message is already out in the open, people are understanding or come to the knowledge that a change is going to be initiated in the organization. It is important that the people should know how they are going to receive this training, whether it is structured, whether it is informal, who is going to teach them, when they are going to get this training, who will be billed for this training, and to teach why the skills and knowledge is required, because these skills and knowledge is required, because this will help the employees to operate efficiently when the change is rolled out. So when the change is actually implemented in the organization, these employees will be able to tackle the change much more properly because they have the requisite skills and knowledge to operate in this newly changed work environment. So this has to be communicated, and about the training skills and knowledge required, this should be communicated to the employees. Training could include a suite of micro-learning online modules or a blended learning approach incorporating face-to-face training sessions or on-the-job coaching and mentoring. So there are various ways in which these training programs can be done, which will help in enhancing the skills and knowledge of the employees. So we have, it can be a micro-learning online modules can be made, or blended learning can be approach may be used, or incorporating face-to-face training depending upon the requirement of the uh, employees, how far the skills and knowledge, how much training they require. So depend on that whether face-to-face training, online training, or a blended learning process where both online and offline training is used, that can be used. Also on the job training can be used, coaching and mentoring can also be done in order to see that the people of the organization, the individuals, they gain the requisite skills and knowledge required to operate efficiently in the new changed working environment. So this is very important to understand and provide effective training to the employees. Now coming to the fifth point that is required is that implement a support structure. A support structure should be in place to see that the people accept the change. Providing a support structure is essential to assist employees to emotionally and practically adjust to the change. Whenever a change happens, people become very, very stressed out, they become tensed, so they are emotionally vulnerable, and practically they also sometimes feel difficult in accepting the change. So, in order to assist these employees of the organizations to emotionally and practically adjust to the change, a proper support structure should be in place. This support structure also helps employees to build proficiency of behaviors and technical skills needed to achieve the desired business results. So this support structure also helps to build the behaviors, the required behaviors, proficiency of behaviors, and the technical skills and knowledge needed to achieve the desired business results. So whatever business goals or business results, what are the anticipated business goals that we want to achieve. So these goals can be achieved when we understand what are the behavioral changes we are anticipating in the employees, what are the technical skills and knowledge enhancement we are anticipating in the employees. So this support structure will help you in building up this behavior and building up these technical skills, so that the organization, when they roll out this change initiative, this will bear the desired business results. Some change can result in a redundancy or restructures, so you could consider providing support such as counseling services to help people navigate the situation. So sometimes when a change initiative is started, it may lead to sometimes removal of this redundant procedures or processes, or some restructuring of the complete way in which they were working previously. Suppose there is a technological change that we are going to bring in the organization, and now everything will be done by computerized format. So the way of writing in books and manually doing the work will be completely removed because that has become redundant. So this support structure will help them to in counseling these people, so that they will be able to navigate this situation. This is a troublesome situation for the employees. It is a troublesome situation, so they will be able to navigate themselves out from that situation. So this proper implementation of the support structure is required. It also helps employees to adjust to changes to how a role is performed. A mentorship or an open door policy with management to ask questions as they arise could be set up. So this support structure should have ways and means in which these employees can reach out to them. The employees, what are the roles is expected to for the employees to perform. Any mentorship should be provided to them, so that they will be able to ask questions to this mentor, and they will be able to answer, the mentors will be able to answer these questions. Sometimes an open door policy should be there, where the change agent will be directly, or the project managers will be directly interacting with these employees. Whenever there is any problem, these employees can seek out this management, this open door policy of this management, and ask questions that can they are going to, that is coming in their mind. So when these doubts are cleared over time, when there is this open door policy, there is a mentorship through which all this doubt is cleared, there is a proper support structure in place, then the employees will be able to accept the change much more efficiently. And the last step that is important is to measure the change process, because if we don't measure the change process, we will not understand how far the change has been uh, efficiently implemented in the organization, or whether it was able to accomplish the business goals that we are going to achieve. So it is very important to measure the change process and to see where there is any rectification or modification required, and then make those rectifications and modifications. So throughout the change management process, a structure should be put in place to measure the business impact of the changes and ensures that continued reinforcement opportunities exist to build proficiencies. So throughout the change management process, a proper structure should be put in place that will help to measure the business impact of the change. How far the business, the bottom line of the business is impacted of the new change initiative, whether it is profitable or whether the organization has become productive, whether it is profitable for the organization, and also to ensure the continued reinforcement opportunities exist to build this proficiency. So this will act as a reinforcement of the opportunities, because we will understand that yes, this change initiative has been successful. It is bringing about productive, increasing the productivity and performance of the organization. So this behavior can be reinforced, and new opportunities can be brought in place in order to build the proficiencies and help the organization grow in the right direction. You should also evaluate your change management plan to determine its effectiveness and document any lessons learned. So whenever a change initiative is done, is implemented, we have to evaluate the change management plan. We have to understand the effectiveness of the complete change process, and we have to document any change, any things that we have learned in the implementation of the change process, because this will act in guiding the future change processes in the organization. So this is the reason why we need to document any lessons that we have learned during the implementation of the change process. Sometimes change exceeds target expectations, but there are occasions that changes that don't work as planned. Sometimes whatever we are starting in the starting, we are thinking to achieve or accomplish those goals. Sometimes we exceed those expectations, and we know that the change initiative has been very successful, and we are happy with the results. But sometimes the change initiatives do not work as planned. So during, under these conditions, when this kind of situation occurs, the management should acknowledge that it didn't work and make adjustments until the desired results are achieved. So the first thing the management has to do is to acknowledge that yes, the change program didn't work, it had failed. So then it has to decide whatever adjustment that is required to see that the business results are properly achieved, or the goals that we had decided to achieve, we are achieving this desired result. So whatever from the present situation, that the desired level of productivity and performance that the organization is want to achieve, that is actually achieved. That is have to be seen. So minor modifications, rectifications has to be done into the change process to see that the desired results are achieved. So these are the 6 steps in which we can ensure that change is effectively implemented in the organization. Now, let us just conclude. Your organization is constantly experiencing change. Every organization is constantly experiencing change, whether it may be caused by technology implementations, process updates, compliance initiatives, reorganization, customer service improvements. Change is constant and necessary for growth and profitability. So any kind of forces, maybe it may be for technology, for process updates, for if there is any compliance initiatives have changed, new compliance we have to follow, certain reorganization is happening in the organization, or certain customer service improvements we have to bring about. In all the things, we have to initiate a new change process in order to move to the desired level of performance and productivity. So every organization has to understand the change is constant and necessary for growth and profitability of the organization. A consistent change management process will aid in minimizing the impact it has on your organization and staff. So having a proper and consistent change management process will aid or help in minimizing the impact of the change process on your organization and staff. So when the impact is less, when the impact is reduced by proper communication strategy, proper training, proper clearance of doubts, then the people of the organization, the staff, they will both embrace the change in a much more efficient way. So we have understood what is the process by which organization change can be effectively implemented in the organization. Please go through the video. I'll be sending you the notes digitally. Please go through that. If you have any doubt, contact me. No need to panic. And finally, thank you for your attention.